Okay, it's not on the fucking window. Hold on, wait. Okay, yeah, new stream. We're streaming. Kerbal Space Pro. Oh, it's working. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let me just make sure that it's actually working. Got the stream key all down. Great. And let me just share this link. Uh, okay. So, what, what, what's happening, man? What's going on? Well, this is a very cool game called Kerbal Space Program. It's I call it Space Game, and here we have a not so fun situation here. That's actually a very beautiful shot. I could take a beautiful screenshot of this actually here. Let me turn off my engines really quick. The fuck? Okay, they're all off. Okay, now I can press the shift button. I'm gonna take a fuck. Oh no. What? It's not off? What the fuck? Shut. Okay, well, I sent it. Well, I didn't send it yet. Hold on, wait. I gotta get to the, send a screenshot to myself. That's the only way I know how to take this. I'm sure there's a way that is, like, actually proper with the, like a button, but I don't know how to do that. Anyway, we're very far away from our place now. This is going to be much harder. But why am I making a stream about this? Well, a few reasons. For one, I don't think I've done a Kerbal stream in a long time. So this is like I don't think I've ever done a Kerbal stream actually. So this is a new Kerbal content, and it's live. So there you go. The other big thing here, a bit of a story. This is career mode, so I have to have things like money, get those through contracts, transfer any crew between vessels near Kerbin. I'm trying to complete that one right now. Kill two birds with one stone because I actually left. Like, this was a lander, and it has the science module. So it was on the surface of this moon here in Minmus, in one of the flats, doing some sweet science. It got me like 2,000 science points, which was beautiful. And I unlocked all the tech trees that I could until I upgraded the actual research building. So, it was very nice. But I didn't have enough fuel to get it back to Kerbin. All I could do was push it into an orbit around Minmus. And then the last transfer vessel I had, because this had 5 Kerbals on it, for another contract I was doing, have a surface base with the science modules, 5 Kerbals on it. So I tried to get those Kerbals back because they were like, half of them were my originals, and, you know, originals are cool. But it didn't have enough fuel, so it only got to an orbit. And this type of vessel here only supports 3. So I had to do 2 trips, and this is the second trip. And I don't know why I managed to succeed last time, but I forgot to add our CS thrusters, which would be very good because right now I can only go one direction, forward. I can't go to the sides. I can turn around and do all that stuff, but I can't move this way. Well, actually, I can kind of move this way. But that's only running off of the fuel for the RCS movements and the thrusters that are this thing. So I can't slow down forward. I have to turn my ship all the way around. And when I'm turning around, I have to make sure not to bump these solar panels into the other ship because they're fragile as fuck. And then when I do that, I gotta, like, you know, blow this way. But I'm not gonna do that because I'm still accelerating towards the fucking thing. What? No, don't do that. Don't. No. Please, I beg you. Anyway. So yeah, it's even worse though because my docking port is here. Right? That's I can undock from nothing. That's pretty cool. But originally I would put my docking port here, but because I was stupid, I didn't do that. So now I can, like, I have to dock backwards. I can't. My RCS thrusters can go like up, down, left, and right, but they can't go forwards and backwards. I can go backwards, but I can't go forwards. Which, I mean, isn't necessarily a deal breaker, I can accelerate really fast towards the docking port, and then I can slow myself down using the up, down, left, right thrusters to position myself just right to get that sweet fit, you know, that click, the dock. But I can't go too fast slowing down, otherwise I'll just speed up in the other direction, and then I won't be able to slow down again until I like turn all the way around and do that thing, and that's going to be just a back and forth of this trying to... It's bad, all right? It's bad. But these Kerbals have been in the ship for 6 years, so it's, you know, their poor souls would like to go home now. So I'll do it for them. Well, let's get back on the mission here. Got to orient myself so that the north red stick on the nav ball is facing down. Here, I'll do a bit of education actually. Just a slight bit of it. Hi, Luna. My dog's looking into my eyes. Yeah. So the nav ball. Shout out who? My friend's messaging me on Discord, and I don't know what they're saying. Shout out. No, I will not. Anyway, where? Oh, here it is. Okay, so what is the nav ball, right? Okay, so the nav ball is basically your navigations ball. I know, it's amazing. You turn, and then it turns. The orange side is the direction of the ground. The blue side is the direction of the sky, and the equator, where the two halves meet, is directly on the horizon, even though we're not pointing towards the horizon, but we would be if we were at perfect sea level on the celestial object, which we're orbiting right now. But we're not, like, too worried about that. We're only worried about what is up, what is down, what is all the directions. So, for some reason, north is down on the nav ball, so the controls there are inverted. So if I press the W key, like D key turns me... Oh, I guess they're all inverted. Whatever. I have it in my head. All right. You don't need to worry about it. I completely understand how this works. And we're gonna move the vessel over here. Also, these engines are way too powerful for a docking, so I had to like bring their thrust power down to 30%, and I had to turn off 2 of them so that it doesn't like fuck up. But I'm gonna dock with this fucking ship this stream. I swear. It's my main goal. We gotta get straight up. Why is this so hard? Oh, there it is. Okay. Got to wait. Oh, that was a cricket. I got crickets now. My lizard can eat. Okay, wait, that's actually the wrong way. I need to stop my motion on this axis. Come on. Come on. Okay. So this little line here that goes all the way around the nav ball is basically flat. So if I halt my motion, this little triangle with an X in it is my retrograde. Basically the direction that I'm the opposite of going. So if I like burn while I'm facing this point on my nav ball, I'm basically burning backwards and I slow down. And if I face the other one, which is the prograde mark, which looks like a little airplane facing forward, then I will start to accelerate in the direction that I'm facing because I'll be burning in that direction. Also, I have my lights on so that it becomes easier when I dock with the thing. But yeah, target velocity is set to 0. Now, this little purple circle here is the direction of the thing. So I now have to make sure I'm perfectly centered, which I am not. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to like align myself, and then I'm going to turn on the RCS, which is a very risky thing because I only have so much monopropellant, which is what it uses. So here we're going to move close enough. I think that's good. We got to bring our target speed down to 0. That should be good. Oh boy. And then we gotta burn this direction. Okay. And now we're gonna make a slow burn. Really coast it. And then we're gonna turn around and we're gonna hope, because like I don't have like no monopropellant. I got 25.5 points left, or units, or whatever the fuck. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it is still very bad. I feel like I need to go up, actually. Yeah, I need to go up. Okay. Raise ourselves. That's the wrong way. For some reason, the controls are inverted right now. So down is up is down, from what it usually is. Okay. Are we aligned? We're too far away to tell yet. Turn off the RCS so I don't actually waste fuel. You also use RCS to turn, because it provides more thrust than the reaction wheels do. So a reaction wheel is basically like, okay, so you know how if you like, it's kind of hard to visualize. Oh wait, we're really close to docking. Okay, basically if you push on something, like if you try to push a rock, the rock pushes back on you. So if you're like falling through the air and you push on a boulder as you're both falling, you both go in different directions from just going straight down, right? So if you push on something, it pushes you. This force also works with turning. So if you are like falling and you try to rotate a rock, the rock will also rotate. We should probably... Shit. We're close. So fucking close. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please. Oh, let's... we did it. But yeah, as you can see, we have no fuel in this tank left, but we do have a lot of fuel here. So that's a very good thing. So what I'm going to do now, since there's only 2 Kerbals left in this pod, I'm going to transfer them. Transfer back to the main command pod. And transfer crew back to the main command pod again. Right? No crew. Oh, it's already done. Okay. Anyway, there's no more data left on this thing, so we can detach this. And it can be in orbit forever, but we do have to do something, though. We have to transfer crew into space near Kerbin, which means we need to get out of Minmus orbit, because for some reason the game doesn't register Minmus orbit as being near Kerbin, which is the home planet. So we need to fucking get over there. But anyway, let me turn these back up now. So activate engine, increase thrust, and activate the engine, and increase that thrust. All on, all at 100%. Not these ones, though, because they're broken. Or they're not broken, but they're out of juice. It would be very nice to recover this vessel, because science labs are very expensive. And it would be nice to have it. Although money isn't really a problem, since we have 1.5 million things. So, whatever. But let's make this a maneuver node, and let's get ready to return back to Kerbin. So, anyway, what is a maneuver node, you may be asking? Well, there are 3 different directions in Kerbal Space Program. There's like 3 different directions anyway. These directions are prograde, retrograde pair, the normal, anti-normal pair, and the radial in, radial out pair. Let me move this over here so that we kill off all our velocity relative to the orbit of Minmus, and we fall with our closest approach, that being the periapsis, falling under 500,000. Oh, actually, we get into it. You know what? Let's get into a counter with the moon. That's the second moon. Kerbin has two moons. The Minmus is the smaller moon, but the Mun is basically our moon equivalent. But yeah, let's get a smaller encounter just in case it doesn't turn out to be good, because I don't actually know what that looks like. But yeah, when I get over here, we only have so much, like, velocity. Delta V. I got a lot of explaining to do with what the fuck all these things mean. But it will be worth it because the people watching will have a better understanding of rocket. What is it called? Rocket science? Yeah, rocket science. I thought it was called rocket physics for a second. Anyway, what are the three directions? What is delta V? And what is a maneuver node? Well, start with the first one. You already know prograde, retrograde from earlier. If I burn prograde, it's basically prograde is the direction that I'm facing. So on my nav ball, this is prograde, and that would translate to that direction. So I'm currently moving that way, which makes sense because I'm in an orbit around Minmus. I'm going this way. The gravity of Minmus is pulling me towards it, so my straight path is bent with space-time into a circle. Gravity isn't really a force, it's the warping of space-time. All orbits and all paths are straight, right? Every orbit and every motion is straight. It's just that the straight lines are on the fabric of space-time. It's literally, well, it's not literally fabric, but functionally you can think of it as a literal fabric, right? So you want to, take a piece of paper, right? Take a pencil, draw a straight line. That is an orbit. Now what you can do is you could fold the paper so that that straight line becomes a circle. That's what gravity does. Objects with mass, that mainly being matter, protons, neutrons, electrons, atoms, all that stuff, matter has, I think the particle that gives everything mass is the Higgs boson, and that warps space-time. I have a limited understanding, so don't take everything I say for 100% accurate, right? But basically, right, all objects with mass distort space-time and therefore distort all straight paths around them. So if you have two rocks next to each other, they're going to warp their straight paths. Their paths also take a path through time because space, time, the fourth axis, the fourth dimension, a lot of people think is time, and people move quote-unquote straight forward through time. So space-time, since it warps straight paths, it also warps your path through time. So as time goes on, the straight paths where these two objects will be, straight being stationary, they'll be bent towards each other. So in the future, their position will be closer to each other, and their motion will, in 3D space, will also be closer to each other. So over time, two rocks next to each other will appear to be attracted to each other and eventually touch. But really, they're just going in straight directions, and their mass is affecting their paths to the future. It's really, really hard to explain any of this, but just pretend that you understand, okay? It doesn't really matter. That was just me explaining what orbits are. So anyway, we're going in a we're orbiting this object, right? Our straight-ish path is pointing this way, so our prograde direction is this way. Our retrograde direction is the opposite, so it's the opposite forward, so it's backwards. Radial in is towards the celestial object in a flat disk relative to the orbit that we're on. So flat would be this. It wouldn't be this, it wouldn't be this, it wouldn't be this, it would be this. Because circles are two-dimensional. And our imaginary path here, this orbit, is a two-dimensional shape, that being a circle. So radial in is basically 90 degrees inward from the otherwise straight path, not in any other direction but flat. It's a two-dimensional, cross for our axes. The third axis would be normal and anti-normal. Normal. That would be up, down, as opposed to left, right, forward, backwards. Forwards, backwards is prograde and retrograde. Left, right is radial in and out. And up and down would be normal and anti-normal. And that's basically all the directions. Now, when you want to go somewhere in space, it's very complicated. I can travel blindly, which is without the maneuver nodes, but it gives you a predetermined path, like the game automatically calculates if you were to do the spurn, how long you would need to do it, how much fuel it would take, and where you would end up. And no one ever does a perfect maneuver node because it just assumes that you immediately accelerate to this speed, adding this much speed to your orbital speed, but that's not really possible. So whatever. But yeah, I add these. And these are all the things. You got prograde, retrograde, radial in, radial out, normal and normal. And these are all the imaginary directions that are you can face. And when you like drag in or drag out, you're adding more burn time to a certain direction. So here, let's fix that maneuver node back up to what it was originally. I don't actually remember what it was. It was like, let's get an encounter with the moon. That's good. All right, and now what we want to do is face this little blue marker. It's a new one. It's where we will need to face in the future for this burn to take place. And this burn will happen in 24 minutes. So let's accelerate time. Wait for it. Bam. Now we just gotta wait a little bit more. That's really cool how the moon is like almost eclipsing Kerbin right there. It's a very beautiful shot that my characters have gotten in this universe. Hey, I should probably retract this so it doesn't get destroyed by the engines. There we go. I should also retract all these. This too. Yeah. Okay. Oh shit, we passed our we passed our burn. All right, our path, our little blue marker moves the closer we get to finishing our burn because it gets much more sensitive. But it doesn't really matter. Like, we could get to 0.2 meters a second, and that's just fine. Our path is basically the same. Here, let's prove it. Yep, there we go. And now we're going to accelerate to when we depart the orbits, or the influence of Minmus. Now we're in an orbit around Kerbin. And this new flyby of the moon will take us... It won't really change that much. But here, let's add a new burn. We only have so much fuel. So I actually don't... I'm actually not going to do that. I'm not going to add a burn for sure. We're flying by the moon. Oh yeah, it's not even that much of a flyby. It's just like this little bit. Yeah, there's the moon. It's tidally locked to Kerbin. One side always faces the planet. Here's our closest approach, the periapsis. We're going to get a crew report while we're here. Because I don't think I've ever done a crew report this far. So it might be classified as a new thing, so crew reports. Oh, never mind. We're not going to overwrite because that was decent information. Anyway, we're going to get much closer to Kerbin now. Whoa! We're not going to go that fast, though. Okay, this is near Kerbin. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer crew between these two capsules. Let's transfer... What? Jebediah. Did that complete our contract? It did! Oh boy, oh boy. Transfer Valentina Kerman. Now, is there anyone in here? Oh, there is! What? Well, okay, wait. Okay, so everyone is in here now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. I didn't know that someone was still in there. That's very good that we found that, because they would be, like, trapped in orbit around Kerbin in like this really weird thing, it would be very hard to intercept this again. So, you know, good thing that we found that. Anyway, let's depart. Was it this one? Undock. Boom. And then we're going to get closer to Kerbin. And then we're going to burn retrograde, which is slowing down because we're burning in the direction that we're not going. That being an exact opposite direction. I'm going to make sure that I'm not burning into the vessel, but it's over there, so no. This is circularizing our orbit. I don't want to lose too much fuel, though, so that's good. Now you can see it fly by now. There's Rubedo Base. It was on the surface of Minmus for all that time. Outstanding. And there it is, now in a forever orbit around Kerbin. Anyway, we're now back home. We're going to accelerate to the day side because I just like being on the day side when I re-enter the atmosphere. Because have you ever tried re-entering a planet's atmosphere at night? You can't see anything except the plasma flare around you. It's not fun. We only have 154 meters a second, though, so we might not have enough. Oh, no, we don't have enough. Here, wait, I have a really stupid idea. So which direction? Okay. Hey, wait a minute, we still have 8 meters. We still have... Why do we... Well, I don't want to undock from this because this is our docking. Okay, we're gonna do a take 3. Here, actually, we don't even need to do that much of like a redo. All we need to do... Here, wait, let's go to the Space Center. Our guys are in orbit around Kerbin now. They're very close, so we don't need that much fuel to get to them. Right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to... Oh, there's the birds. Come on. Okay. Okay, well, first thing we're going to do, actually, is we're going to... What is this? Docking on or around the... Are you fucking kidding me? I don't want to do that. The World First Record Keeping Society is like the story mode. You accept these contracts and then it gives you the next one. That basically is like a rough outline for how. You know what? I'll just accept it. Actually, I'm not going to accept it because it's not going anywhere. These specific contracts don't really like every single other one of these will eventually go away, but this one will never go away. There's no expiration date on it. And if I accept it, it never expires. But I only have so many contracts I could have at a time, so I'm not going to do that. Contracts is like things that you do. They're like quests. And if you do them, people give you money. So it's very useful. Anyway. Okay, we have a problem. We ran out of fuel in orbit around Kerbin. So we actually don't need to launch the same thing again. We need to launch something different, something new, something exciting. And what shall that entail, you might ask? I don't know. I think it was, wait. Was it this one? One of these is, like, really useful because it's small. Let's see. Structural parts. Here, wait a minute. Hold on. There's something that's very essential that we're missing. Just wait for it. We're missing the music. This game has amazing music. Very moodful. You hear that? It's so faint, but it adds so much. Anyway, so yeah, that's our little quest here. We have to give ourselves. Where's the docking? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so this is never mind. We don't need this stupid thing. We can have something a bit bigger. Where is it? Is it? I don't know about this, but do I not have a larger probe core? Oh, I know what I can do. Service bay. Put our little thing inside of that. For some reason, it's not perfectly centered. It's like floating. That doesn't make any sense. Well, let's turn up the snap. Wait. Oh, someone's speeding down the road. Okay, that is good. I told you this music is great. I don't think I need that much of a battery. Actually, I do need that much of a battery. That's perfectly acceptable. And so since this, okay, this is a probe, so it's not an actual Kerbal piloting it, so it'll need some form of communicating with Kerbin, and I know exactly how to do that. We're going to get some of these communitrons, 2 of them, attach them over here. Perfect. And then we're going to get that docking port. Okay, so here we have a shielded docking port. We're going to open it. It's just the normal docking port. It's the same as the Clampatron, which is what is on the ship that we have in orbit right now. So why do we have this? We are going to give the ship a supply run of fuel. Because it's much less expensive to just give it fuel directly than it would be to like actually get a whole nother pod and leave that one in orbit. So we're going to move these closer to the inside so that it is less everywhere. We're going to rotate this whole thing back, because if you try to move these, it only goes this way, and that'd be very hard to center perfectly like that because my OCD. We're also going to make these silver. Aesthetics, very important priorities. Yeah, that's a good fuel run. We would also want some RCS fuel. I mean, it's not exactly essential. We're not gonna, whatever. Let's just whatever. It's fine. It's fine. We're not gonna have an engine on this part though. We're going to reserve the. Well, we don't actually need this much fuel. We don't even need that much fuel. We could just have that. There. Or could we do this? Now let's do that. Okay, this is our supply run of fuel. This is gonna dock with the ship. Here, wait, actually we could give it some RCS thrusters. Or RCS thruster blocks, I guess is what they're called. Let's move it like this. There. So now these will use the monopropellant fuel in here to dock with the vessel with this docking port. We're actually going to add some lights, now that I think about it, because that would be useful. Although I don't really have any. You know what? The ship has lights on it. It doesn't really need lights to find this thing. I don't need lights. It's just like something that makes it easier, but it's fine. Anyway, we're going to add a decoupler here so that it marks off. We're going to actually disable crossfeed. Crossfeed basically lets like an end, like say we had, which we will, Say we had an engine right here with the fuel tank already. Okay, swivel tank. And that's probably going to be what stage we have, actually. This is going to be the one that parks it into orbit, so we're going to add another fuel tank, because that'd just be safer. Oh, wait. Again, not important, just ordering it aesthetically. Anyway, this decoupler right here marks off the fuel from these two fuel tanks and the fuel that this engine will drink into pushing this payload into orbit and on an intercept course with the ship. So when it actually, wait, hold on, we should probably add a, what is it? Stabilizer, right. Right. This is a reaction. I forgot to explain what a reaction wheel is. Okay, so basically, if you push on a rock, it pushes you. If you try to rotate a rock, you get rotated the other direction. That's basically what a reaction wheel is. There's something in this little device here. Peek underneath the hood. It doesn't look all that helpful. It just looks like a computer chip. But it's a real thing that exists in, like, real life. There are vessels that have these little RCS, not RCS, that's what I'm putting on the ship right now. There are spacecraft that have reaction wheels in them that they spin like a heavy wheel, and the energy that's put into spinning that wheel causes the rest of the craft to rotate. Like, you can't ground your feet to something and rotate something while your feet are pushing off the ground to give that energy to rotate something. Like, if you tried to spin something in a spinny chair, you're just gonna spin the chair. Because you're in space, there's nothing else to grab onto and all energy is conserved. You have to spin off of something in order to spin yourself. That's what a reaction wheel is. It's literally a reaction wheel. It's a wheel that when you spin it, it spins you. But it requires power, which is actually a good thing to remind myself of because I forgot to add power to this. We should probably add power. What do you say? 1/6. It doesn't need that much power. It could honestly do away with this. I mean, the price that we would save wouldn't be that extreme, honestly. But the reaction wheel might be power intensive, so we're going to have... Actually, we're only going to have 2 of these. Yeah, this is our little craft here, and then we're going to put this on a 6 radian. Symmetry, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is looking great. Just imagine this comes at you. Yeah, I think that's good. We have ourselves the payload, and now we're going to... We don't even need to, like, put this in a fairing. And I think fairings cost a good deal. Yeah, 300. I mean, we don't have money problems right now. Actually, we could just add one for the fuck of it because the boosters are going to... Like, the actual stage that gets this thing off the ground is going to be so much, it won't even, like, matter if we have a fairing. And it's the smallest fairing. It's not that expensive, so we're just going to add it. What a fairing does is it protects the craft from the very violent exit phase of the atmosphere. So you'll see what I mean when we like get to leaving the atmosphere, but okay, I should probably... Yeah, that's better. Okay. And this is gonna... Okay, wait, let's get our staging down before we do anything stupid. And then let's add a decoupler. Where's that? Here. Okay, this is our decouple engine fire. If we haven't already separated the fairing by then, we separate it in this stage. Although I like manually separate the fairing every time because it's not that hard. You just like scroll up to it and right click it, release fairing. It's not, you don't have to put it through the staging. But if I somehow forget to remove the very obvious fairing that I'm always paying attention to, then it will detach at this stage. Anyway, yeah. What was I explaining? Reaction? Oh, I finished explaining reaction boost. Crossfeed? Yeah, this is a barrier that protects this fuel from being spent by the engine so that it reserves it for the thing. I feel like I already mentioned that though, so whatever. Anyway, liftoff stage. Begin constructing. Okay, that's a good start. We're gonna add this engine here. We don't even need to add fins for this. Fins are like RCS thrusters, but instead of pushing off of itself, it pushes off of the atmosphere. So they only work in an atmosphere, which is why we're not going to add them on the stage, because at this point, okay, here. I'll just explain it with what I'm building. So here we are adding the Thumper solid fuel boosters. Beautiful things. They're powerful. They're reliable. Although they are not the Reliance. Where are those? Reliant? I don't think I have those yet. There's a tech tree in this, and I don't think I have the Reliant booster. But anyway, we're going to add some struts so that these don't wobble around and flop off the craft, because that would be bad if they crashed into the rocket. Oops. You can never have too many struts. That's a Kerbal motto. Oh, wait, I got some new... No, it's oh, they're tiny. Oh, fuck. Whatever. Aerodynamics are not that much of a big deal here, so... But yeah, this is the, okay, so Rubedo transfer, oh, no, not, okay. Orbital fuel cargo. This little baby right here will cost us 15,000 Kerbal credits, which is not a lot. So, very nice. Anyway, the reason why we're not going to want fins is because these are going to fire first. So let's get that staging down so that I don't forget how to make a staging. We have enough fuel here to push it into orbit. I think it has enough. Ooh, wait, it might not have enough. $29 delta V. It takes 21 or 23 or something delta V to get into an orbit. 23,000. So 29 is cutting it close for an orbit that's over 100,000 on both furthest and closest point. It's a larger close Kerbin orbit, but let's just launch it and see how we go, and then we can always restart because we're on normal mode. We can always reset. Anyway, right, the reason we don't have fins. We gotta stretch. Okay. We don't have fins. Luna. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, she's so, yeah, Luna's cute. I have a packet of mustard for my sandwich. Okay. We're gonna turn on RC. Wait, do I have accent? Yeah. Okay. So this is a probe. So there's a lot of scuffed things with dealing with a probe. We're just gonna launch first. Oh yeah, the fins. I keep forgetting what I'm explaining. So yeah, we're gonna fire the boosters. That is stage 1. So these boosters are literally boosting us because it would just be too much and too like detail inefficient to have this stage be like throttleable engines. Boosters can't be throttled on enough. I turned the throttle all the way down and they're still going. I can't throttle them. If I manually turn them off, I can't even manually turn them off. I didn't know I couldn't turn them off. Okay, well, Yeah, see, this is why we had the fairing. There's a lot of air that we're pushing out of the way, and that air is being stopped from fucking with the delicate instruments of the cargo. Oh, dramatic. By the fairing. But yeah, the boosters push us up really far, and all that a wing does, a fin, is makes it so that your control of the craft, like right now, I'm changing where the craft is pointed with this engine. If your craft isn't aerodynamic enough, it will start to point in every direction except forward, which is where you want to go. So in order to counteract that, you get more stability if you add fins, especially fins that you can control, which point in different directions and make it so that turning is much easier when you have SAS enabled. SAS means stability assist. So it's basically autopilot. If you turned SAS off, you can like do a whole bunch of weird shit. The craft starts to drift. You can manually control it, but that's really hard, and it's always easier to have SAS enabled. But yeah, that's why we don't have fins, because they're expensive and we don't need them. When I get into an orbit of... I actually don't think we have enough fuel to rendezvous with the transfer stage, or transfer vessel. Okay. Also, whenever we pass 55,000 kilometers from the surface, I detach the fairing because the atmosphere up here technically ends at 70,000 meters, but that's not really important. I forgot to close this. Anyway, whenever you pass that mark, the music kicks in. It's very nice. Anyway, we're in space now, so we're going to burn this way. We only have so much... Oh, right, that's what I was going to explain. Delta V. Well, delta from the Greek alphabet is used in science to signify change in something. Delta means change, and V stands for velocity. So, delta V is a change in velocity, which is also known as acceleration. You can accelerate forwards and you can accelerate backwards. Well, isn't that just called deceleration? Well, there's no such thing as deceleration because all acceleration is acceleration. You're changing your velocity, which is basically your speed with a direction, and that's acceleration. You're changing your velocity, and that is acceleration. So delta V is like a currency for physics, and you need a certain amount of delta V, which is a numerical representation of how much fuel you have, how far you can burn, how far you can go with a craft. Because a slinky or a Nerf dart isn't gonna have enough like fuel or kinetic energy to get to the moon, but a rocket might have that much delta V. So it's basically a representation to visualize how far you can and probably will go. But we don't have enough fuel to get into orbit, so we're going to revert to the vehicle assembly and give ourselves more fuel. It's a work in progress, folks. It's a work in progress. Excuse me. Anyway, it would be easier to do a little bit of this cheeky business. It may not be super epic, but it works, so I'm going to do it. So here we have 2 more of these stupid engines. Where's the... Here we go. Struts. Can never have too many struts. Okay, now we gotta get our staging right. Staging? Yeah. So, here's what's gonna happen. First, these are gonna launch. When we press the spacebar, these engines right here are the first that are gonna go. And then, it's gonna be these guys. So, these spin engines, these spin boosters are going to decouple with these. And then these are gonna fire. And then once those run out, they will also decouple, and then this main engine will fire, pushing us into a higher orbit. And then all this stuff will happen. So that is our revised design. And we still don't need fins because we have a lot of stability. I'm probably going to eat my words in a minute, but I hope I hope that we have enough stability. Excuse me, hold on. Okay. Excuse me. I may or may not be sick. I think I'm not. I don't think I'm sick, but whatever. Anyway. Yeah, let's get this started. Oh, this is actually heavy. Yeah, the reason why is because it's heavy cargo. So I don't. It's literally just fuel. So honestly, I feel like I should have given this a more powerful booster. Maybe a booster that was like too powerful. Because this is adding nothing. And those might actually crash into the launch pad and cause a fair amount of damage. They might actually crash into. We're changing that up. I don't want to damage my fucking space center, dude. It's not fun. It's not fun to deal with. We're gonna get rid of these, and we're actually gonna get rid of these because they're not helping. That begs the question: what will help? I don't know, but I have a few ideas. The shrimps. Do we not have bigger thruster? I thought we had heavy rocketry. What the fuck? Do we not have better boot? Oh, here they are. They're just hidden among this stupid thing. Okay, here we go. The thoroughbred solid fuel booster. But that's excessive. So we're going to give ourselves, instead, put on 2 radial mount this time. We're going to give ourselves the kickback solid fuel booster. And this is one of my favorite boosters because you could just, like, turn on this texture. It has a whole... Oh, that's actually very, very tall. Shit. Okay, this might be too much. But that does look hilarious. So I'm look at how high off the ground it is. Here, we're gonna do it. We're gonna try and see how this works. It's gonna be hilarious. I'm not gonna regret it. These are too big. Yeah, they're too big. What the fuck? What? Oh. They weren't aligned properly. There we go. Okay, we definitely need struts for this one. So we're going to go over to structural. We're going to get the struts. Never too many struts. No such thing exists. What are struts, you ask? Life, death, the universe, and everything. 42? Probably. They're basically metal poles that mount to things, like support beams, but you could put them anywhere. This is very nice. Also, they detach when you stage your vessel, so you don't need to worry about them like holding onto the thing. So imagine that there's literal structural supports connecting these here and here, because there are. And if there weren't, then these little decouplers probably couldn't handle like the really massive, really like long shit. We're just gonna launch. Now that is enough delta V. That is enough delta V. It's like I over tripled. Well, technically I under doubled, but whatever. Okay, in hindsight, this might have not been the best call because we're going to get very fast and the aerodynamics might not actually be enough. So we might actually have to restart and let ourselves spins. If it doesn't work. If it does work, we never need to think about it again, and we can just keep going. Which is what I want to happen. I don't want to have to think about it. But yeah, now it's flaring up because we're pushing through the atmosphere so hard. This is why we have the fairing. If we had no fairing, it probably wouldn't have mattered, but... Stage. Now that is high enough to not really do too much damage to the center because they're both going to drift away. I hope. Oh, we're already very high in the atmosphere, or not even in the atmosphere anymore. High in orbits. Anyway, there we go. I forgot to close it again. Classic me. We're going to turn ourselves in this general direction. Got to keep an eye on our electric car charge, because this is a probe. This music. Actually, we're going to... Yeah, there's certain problems that come with having probes. For one, they're not Kerbals, so you have to rely on a connection to the Kerbal Space Center in order to control them. Now, you can work around this problem with having probes everywhere. I have a probe around Minmus, which is how I'm able to land probes and do all that stuff when, you know, the side of Minmus that the probe is on is not facing Kerbin. Like when it's Kerbin's night on Minmus, where Kerbin is not in the sky, I still have a probe that can see Kerbin and can relay that connection to the night side, the far side of Minmus, and can do all that stuff for me. We should probably burn now. But yeah, that's one of the problems with that. Another problem is that unlike Kerbals, which are basically immortal sources of control, probes have to have power to function, and like Kerbals can perform certain functions without power. You can't really control like the reaction wheels. So you can't turn your craft in certain directions because you have no power. But you can activate things on your craft. So you can activate a solar panel to deploy it so that you can get power to start turning and start doing all the essential stuff. Or you can manually throttle an engine on and off. And there's actually a really cool thing in Kerbal Space Program that makes a lot of sense. There's another source of power beyond solar power and radioactive power, and that is the heat energy from a burning engine. So this engine right now, as it's burning, it's turning that heat into energy, electricity, for this craft to use. We definitely have enough Delta V now. It's a good thing. But yeah, probes need batteries, they need power, and then they need all the equipment that you actually want them to have. Which is usually science equipment. So you get them sweet, sweet science points. Anyway, we have arrived in a good orbit. We have 500 meters a second right now. But that's okay. This is still secure. Okay, so the enable crossfeed was disabled, which is good. So now we're going to set this as our targets. We're actually coming up on a maneuver node right now, which is really good. So we're going to want to take advantage of that. So the ascending and descending node is basically how uncentered you are with the like the plane. Like this is a flat orbit, but our craft is on a really tilted orbit. Well, no, why is it on a tilted orbit? Well, one of the causes can be that I was just clumsy, but this craft came from Minmus, and while the moon, the Mun, it's called as M-U-N as its name. Hold on, close enough. 0.1 degrees. That's fine. The Mun has a very flat orbit, but Minmus has a tilted orbit. So you have to tilt your orbit around Kerbin and then accelerate towards Minmus in order to gain an encounter with it. Meaning, when you come back, your orbit is also tilted. So our craft that came back that ran out of fuel to correct was tilted. So we had to get ourselves all that jazz. But now we're close enough to where we can... We're on the same plane as the craft now, so we can finally get the intercept burn down. And since we have it as our target, it's going to show us but the first and second closest approach moments. I'm going to rotate this around Kerbin. It's actually not going to have an intercept for a while, so we're going to accelerate. Whoa, this is a good time to stop accelerating. It looks like a thing is coming up. And it was. There it is. Okay. So intersect is... 2, 1. Okay, that's good. We'll just see what gets that closer. Burning less is always good, or technically that's burning more. What was this? That adds nothing. It adds something. It brings it down by 0.1. I assume that this will be a good... Yeah, there we go. Separation, 0.2 kilometers. Okay, that's good enough. I can live with that. So now we're going to align ourselves with the direction that we need to go. That's good. And it's within our meters a second. It's beautiful. Wait, how fast are we going to be going? Relative speed, 449.8 meters a second. Well, we don't need to transfer all the fuel, so I'm just gonna... We're gonna... Actually, you know what would be easier? To just enable crossfeed directly, so... Enable crossfeed. Okay, so we should have more delta V. Or maybe it doesn't even allow for crossfeed anyway. Okay. Whatever, we'll figure out that problem when we come to it. Right now we got to accelerate to the maneuver node. Whoop. Whoa, okay. Turning on the RCS. Oh, we have a lot of monopropellant. That's good. Okay, now how close are we really? 1.7 kilometers. Okay, that's fine. And now we got to solve the issue of the 400 meters a second intercept velocity. What is an intercept velocity? Well, it's how fast you're going when you arrive at the thing. Now, since that intercept velocity is going to be 452.4 meters a second, and we only have 93 meters a second of delta V, that is what we in the system like to call an issue. So we're going to give ourselves some of the fuel from the payload. Actually, we're going to give ourselves all the fuel from the payload, and we're just going to return that fuel when we don't need this engine stage anymore. Okay. So let us begin. There's another intercept. It's like docking from earlier, but now we have RCS thrusters, so it's going to be much, much easier. There they go. Okay. Oh, yep. They're going very fast. They are going half a kilometer a second. That is quite fast. There it is. 1.7 across 2. That was not a good timing, actually. We need to continue burning after this. Okay. We're going to back that up. What was it 0.6, I think? Nope, that's good enough. I don't actually care. Oh, it was 6. Okay. Okay, now we're going to face it. That's the wrong direction. We're going to face it. We're going to align our prograde direction, which is where we're going, again, with the direct direction of where it is. Now, that's going to drift as we both orbit around Kerbin. I'm going faster around Kerbin because I'm closer, so it's going to slowly start to drift away from being exactly center. It's already starting to do that, but we're going to give ourselves back all the fuel that we stole. While that's happening, we're going to extend these 2 solar panels. Continue the fuel transfer. Okay. What about this? Okay. So that is done. So we're now going to just making sure we have everything we need. Okay. Actually, let's turn down the reaction wheel authority to 35%. There we go. So north is that. We're going to point it down because I usually have it like that. Accelerate. Whoa! Thankfully, we have a lot of monopropellant, so it's not going to be an issue. There we are. Yeah, see, we're drifting again. Come on. Okay. So this is how docking feels. Very tedious. I mean, like, slow docking. Usually I'm used to fast docking, but this is not the funnest. I mean, it is fun. I'm playing the game, but... Okay, here we go. Now, we're behind Kerbin, so we no longer get sunlight, so we need to rely on the lights on this thing. Okay, we're going 1.6 meters a second. This isn't enough to crash into each other. We're going to actually open the shield and lights on. Oops. Whoa! I had no idea we were going that fast. Yeah, I don't know why I said that was fine. That was not fine. Okay, we're gonna center ourselves with the docking port over here. Okay, we're gonna turn off RCS for a second. We're gonna move ourselves like this. Perfection. Okay, now we're going perfectly straight. Oh, there's the light at last. Make sure we're not drifting on the other direction. We are. Whoop, we're also drifting on the other direction. This is a delicate balance. And eventually we get close enough to that it takes over, and then we are connected. Yes. Now we're going to wait until we get to the day side of Kerbin, because that's much easier to work with. Okay. Now we are going to pin this window, pin that window, and transfer all the fuel. That is not a lot of fuel, but we have 343 meters a second, and that's going to increase when we get rid of the, hold on, what the fuck is that noise? Okay, that's going to take a minute to... Alright. Now, this is stuck in orbit now. We're going to undock it. But it does have a bit of monopropellant if we ever need that, I guess. So I guess we could keep that in a weird orbit around Kerbin. It might not be an accessible orbit because it's so tilted, but whatever. Anyway, we can't retract these since they're not designed to be retracted. It was just cheaper, so we're going to burn retrograde on the orbit, which will finally take us close enough, hopefully, to be within 50,000 kilometers. What the fuck? Okay, I aim for 1,600 meters every time. Okay, now we're going to accelerate all the way to the encounter with the atmosphere. And finally, Valentina and Junior Kerman can return to Kerbin. At long, long last, their poor souls. Don't want to burn too close to the ground. Whoop. Trying to kill off a lot of our speed while not lowering ourselves so low. But I guess we could lower ourselves. Whoa. Okay, then. That was extreme. Okay, tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to turn on the surface mode. We're going to detach. I better not have done what I thought I did. No, I didn't. What about these? Oh, they've been armed the whole time. Okay, that wasn't fun. We're going to turn retrograde on our orbit, or surface velocity. That's going to enter the atmosphere along with us. When we pass 70,000, it stops the time warp, so. But Jebediah is a 2-star pilot. That just means they have 2 levels, not they're shit. Although they are kind of shit. I love you, Jeb. But we're gonna see how this works out. As you can see, the heat shield is slowly becoming redder. There's a trash truck outside. It is. I hope you can't hear that. Because it sure isn't ideal. Okay, the atmospheric drag is starting to slow that one down. Oh, here we go. The flare of the atmosphere. I mean, honestly, this heat shield could take much, much more. I just didn't want to waste the fuel, I guess. But yeah, re-entering the atmosphere is nasty business. Here, wait, let's go cinematic. Hello, friends. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Well, it is looking good. The heat shield can, as I said, take much more than that. The ablation, I think, is how much like protection it has. When that runs out, the heat shield just becomes a regular part. But while it has that ablation, it can withstand a lot of heat. I think an absurd amount of heat. It could withstand going by the sun a bit. But I digress. Oh, we're landing near this thing. This is, there's a crater on Kerbin. It's like a really huge impact crater. That island over there is the eye of it, I guess. Anyway, I think we're going to not be able to land in the water. I think we're going to actually land on the mountains, which is not extremely ideal, actually. Okay, that's really loud. Can you not? Fucking trash compactor. Oh, wait, I forgot. The drogue chutes were already armed. Okay. Well, we're going to turn off SAS, I guess, because it doesn't really matter. We're going to land on the shore. Oh, this is interesting. I don't think I've ever landed on the shore before. But yeah, drogue chutes are not actual parachutes. They only slow you down so that you can... Okay, well, I guess they deployed then. But they only slow you down for when you want to deploy your actual parachute. So right now, we're going at 26 meters a second. We're going at 26 meters a second. This orange light is on, and when that orange light is on, it means that your crew is in imminent danger. So, whenever that light is off, while parts may break, maybe, it won't really be lethal. So, anyway. What is this, sunset? Oh, yeah, sunset on the beach. What a place to land. Yeah, heat shield my brake. It's fine, it's fine. The crew's still alive. Everybody say hi. Okay, we're recovering this fucking vessel immediately. No time wasted. No dilly-dally, as they call it. Because that would not be I do. Not necessarily, anyway. Let's see, how much science we got? 20 and 30, no, 3.3. 20 and 3.3, okay. Lost funds from that. Gained a bit back, though. M13 command pod, good. No XP gained, 2 XP gained, okay. We have high reputation. Okay. Ow. Fucking Waluigi. Okay. Basically, we're doing a big thing now. So this stream was just about, you know, saving the Kerbals, right? Well, now we're doing something very important. Let me just make sure we don't need anything else. Okay. And it still takes too much to upgrade it, so we're going to get... Okay, fine. What is this? Rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit around the moon. I could do that quickly, but I won't like it. Anyway, we're going to send a probe into interplanetary space. What is interplanetary space? Well, previously, the furthest we've ever gone from Kerbin has been just a probe into interplanetary space. We launched a vessel, and it was in an orbit around the sun, and we did some science in that space. It was outside Kerbin's magnetosphere. It was far away from the atmosphere, so it wasn't really affected. It was in the interplanetary space, and it was in that influence. So the science instruments were able to lock on to, you know, general inter-system interplanetary space. So now we are going to launch a probe. I really don't like that fucking noise. Dumpster truck, but nobody does, not even them, so. Here's the probe that we will launch. It will be designed to perform all the necessary sciences. So here we have the magnometer boom, and over here we're going to have the mystery goo trademark. So this is what it'll look like performing the science, at least this science. Now, it's not really necessary, but for the aesthetics, I want to add 2 of these. Well, actually, I don't really need to add them, so I won't. Whatever. But yeah. The science that we will need. There's a pressure barometer. And there is a thermometer. This is the orbital science components. Now, where are we going? Well, we are going to Duna. What is Duna? What is Duna? You may be asking. Well, Duna is this planet, surprisingly, that is in the it's the Mars equivalent. All right, so we're going to this game's Mars. Now this is the first probe, but I want to get 2 launches in one, or 2 probes in one launch. So the first probe here will be designed to, you know, perform very basic orbital sciences. So there's 4 scientific instruments here. and we're going to retract both of those. Now, it will have a lower stage that will be mainly electrical over here. So we're going to add, 2 batteries, smaller batteries, I guess, around here. So it's mainly the probe design so far. And we're going to have solar panels that are as large as we can make them. So not very large. That's basically how it looks. This is the first vessel that will appear in, I hope, orbit around another planet. Or I plan for it to be in orbit. Unscheduled rapid disassembly. I'm looking at you. Don't be spooky. But yeah, this is generally how the craft is going to look when everything is deployed, and it's going to look very pretty and very aesthetic. But this is not the only part of the craft that we are going to take into space. We are going to also have a little decoupler here. Actually, we could have a structural component. Let's see. Decoupled, that would, okay, wait. Play everything again. Oh yeah, that looks fine. I think I have a reaction wheel in here too by default, so it's alright. Anyway, this is the main stage. Now, what is the other stage? That will be utility. Another probe. Who has attached itself to a science mystery science science junior, not a mystery science junior, just a normal science junior. It's going to have the proper communicational instruments. And also the proper science instruments. So Duna is very, very interesting to explore since it has an atmosphere. So we're going to have these 2 instruments, which specialize in atmospheric analysis, come into play. And we're also going to have some things like the barometer and the seismic scope. No mystery goo, though. Now, this whole vessel will have power. It's kind of the idea. It will have solar generation abilities. Although hopefully those solar panels won't be destroyed in re-entry. Or entry, I guess. Not re-entry, it's the first entry. Now, Duna's atmosphere is really thin, so we won't really be able to land traditionally. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to have... Where is it? This weird... Here. That's actually huge. Never mind. We are going to have a larger heat shield, though. So this will be a fuel stage. Now, thankfully, Duna's atmosphere isn't... Again, the gravity isn't that strong, and the atmosphere is not extreme. So we can have... Well, it's not really thankful, but we can have some degree of control when it comes to these engines. So traditional parachutes aren't going to be enough. We're going to need these engines, like I just said, literally just a second ago. Let's see. 16 kilonewtons, 120 kilonewtons, but they're big. So not as big, but whatever. Whatever. Another heat shield. Now this is going to be our lander, obviously. And we're going to want really strong landing parts. Not big ones, Jesus, but ones that are more lenient. Okay, so this is our lander, and this is our probe. The lander is going to communicate with the probe, and it's going to bounce back all the science that it gets from the surface. We're not sending a rover yet. We need to have the probe in an orbit first. Right, I should probably add parachutes. Now, again, this isn't going to be the same as with Kerbin. So there's like almost no atmosphere on this planet. And we can still interact with the Science Junior when it's like this, all cluttered with things. So we can perform the science with it. This is already a very expensive thing. It's much more expensive than the whole refueling thing. And that's not even, this is just the probes. That's not the rest of the interstellar equipment or interplanetary equipment that's going to like send it into that orbit and have it intersect. So this is a very complicated thing. So we're going to okay, we're going to have that. We're actually going to reroute. So, ironically, the mothership is not the main part. It's the fucking probe here. Anyway, I think that's good enough. I'm gonna go to coupling, a larger stack separator. It's called a stack separator. It's called a decoupler. There. And now we are going to put that on this stage, which will be the inner... No, not that. This stage will be the interplanetary stage. And then this... Well, actually, we're going to do this. Where? Oh, electrical. Right, I'm a genius. Interstellar. Solar collection. We're going to want one of these as well. And maybe a few batteries. There. Now this will be the orbital phase. Now that is already a lot of delta V. Okay, so let's get the end staging right. So, last thing that happens, this decouples, okay? And when that decouples, these engines will activate. And then actually, both of these are going to happen. Okay, so both of these decouple and the engines activate. Now then, wait, that shouldn't decouple yet. What am I doing? Okay, the engines activate, then this will decouple. So the probe will be detached and sent into an orbit. Then right here we have the heat shield, and then the parachutes. Okay. Now comes the rest of the ship. So, staging in order. Wait. First, we should probably add the boosters. Now, this is going to be a very powerful vessel, so we're going to have larger decouplers. 4 thoroughbreds. 4 of them. Count them. Now that is quite the rocket, if I do say so myself. Those are too big. Okay, the last thing we're going to add is struts. Okay, now here's the staging plan. First stage, these boosters will fire. Then they will detach, and this suborbital stage will fire, which will push the rocket into a suborbital trajectory. Or it'll finish its orbital burn. And then this engine will fire, and it will push it out into an intercept with Duna. And then this will detach as well. Once that interplanetary coast is done, the lander will activate its fuel. It has 979 meters a second. Okay. I'm just going to rename this Dooner 1. Okay. We're just going to launch it, honestly. I think we're ready for our first interplanetary mission, folks. We could land on Ike, but that would be a waste of the parachutes and the atmospheric instruments, so I'm actually just not going to do that. I'm going to land on Duna first. That is a powerful rocket. The most powerful rocket ever launched. 780 Delta V. The best I ever got was 640, I think. That wasn't even enough to land on the Mun and back. But here, we're not going back. And I can land on the Mun wherever I want. But we are going to Duna. With a probe and a lander. Now, I guess the in-game lore explanation could be, since we don't actually know what Duna looks like yet, because it's the first probe that's going over there, we could know that Duna has some atmosphere. We don't know how thick it is. If it's too thin, we can use the landing legs. If it's thick enough, we can rely on the parachutes. Little do they know, it is very thin. Mars' atmosphere is so thin that parachutes can't cut it. So you need engines to slow yourself down even more. So Duna is, the equivalent in this game, so it's the same way. We're going through the atmosphere quite hard. That is very fast. Four thoroughbreds will do that. Okay, and here we have a curve in orbit. Deploy. Oh, yeah. Now. We need to turn our engine on so that it could provide thrust in this direction so that we could turn. Here we go. And there's our little base still in orbit. It's going to intercept one of these two moons eventually. And that'll be an interesting day when that happens. Who knows where it'll go. What's my thrust rate? 2. Okay, and what's my thrust rate ratio over here? Almost 2 again. And then over here? Over 1. If it's ever over 1, that's a good thing. Our orbit is building up. So we're going to leave Kerbin. Oh, we're out of fuel. Okay. We're going to go over here to our other Wepsis. Going to burn a bit more fuel. Perfection. A perfectly circular orbit. And we have all the fuel left in this stage. Well, basically all of it. So we can now deploy 2 of these solar panels. And we shall go into an orbit around Duna. Now we need to wait for a transfer window. That's basically a time where there's maximum efficiency going between the two bodies. And we got to wait like half a year. But I got to look up what that transfer window actually is because I don't remember what it is. So hold on. Transfer window, Duna. Kerbin to Duna. Okay. 45 degrees about. Seems about right. Now here I can watch for... Okay. Not intercept the moon. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is going to take a moment. What the fuck? Oh, okay. I think that station is about to crash into the mun. Something's about to happen. Okay, we're at 20 degrees. It's really inclined now. Oh! I believe it is now on its own orbit around the star. Or crashed into it. I think it crashed into the moon. Okay. Well, that station's done for. Now let's keep accelerating. 45 degrees. So this is 90. Waiting. I think this is pretty good. We're going to see exactly how much this takes. And which direction we need to go. I believe the answer would be in this general direction. Okay, whatever. We're going to do a mid-flight, mid-course correction. Wait for it. It's going to take, what, 46, 23 seconds. Beginning the burn. There goes the star. Oops. Okay. Now. We have arrived, but we keep going. Now our connection to Kerbin is going to get more scratchy as time goes on. So what we'll want to do is we'll want to... Well, we'll keep getting power. That's not a problem. Although the problem is the connection, so... Okay, let's see. What about... here? We'll see what we can do to get the orbit right. This is a very expensive burn just to get it close enough. But it'll be worth it. Because, you know, we'll be in Duna. In Duna Town. another intercept around Ike. Okay, that is a huge moon. That is an absolutely massive moon. That's absurd. What the? They have to be tightly locked to each other. Like the. Like the planet, in addition, has to be tightly locked to the fucking moon. Because what? The fucking balls? Okay, we're going to want to make this course correction in that long. Here we go. Passed our maneuver node, but we're still going. We have full connection. It's interesting. Oof. Absolutely perfect. We're going to see how much delta V it takes for us to get into an orbit. It better be less than 1,000. It will not be less than 1,000. See, we have 2,000, so we'll have 500 more to play with. Okay, good. Whoa. Oh. Oh, shit. That's insane. Okay, okay. Here we go. Long time. That burn's going to take 3 minutes. I mean, okay. Fair enough, I guess. Now, here we come. Our connection to Kerbin is still fine. We might go around the sun soon, though. We're losing connection. Okay, we're just going to get into an orbit, and then we're going to wait. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Minute and a half plus. We'll just do 20 seconds. Or no, wait. A minute and a half plus 16. So 1 minute 46 seconds. 48. 1 minute 50. Oh wait, what the fuck am I doing? Seconds. So 28. Let's just do 30. We are at Duna, lads. And there's Ike over there. Weird. Weird Ike. Oh, no. That is a design flaw that I had not thought of. Why are we not turning? Our thrust to weight ratio should be golden. Is it because we're not... Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Alright. Not the most fun. We had to get rid of our heat shield because of a glitch. So now we can only really land on Ike. Although we could hypothetically land on Duna still, we don't have a heat shield. The atmosphere is not super thick. But I really don't want... Look, it's alright. We got our probe in orbit. Worst comes to shove. We will... What? What do you mean, so now you're noticing me? Okay, yeah, whatever. So yeah, bad news. Heat shield's gone. We're also not close enough to Kerbin. Oh, wait. Oh. That's the Interstellar probe. Or not the Interstellar, but it's pretty close to Interstellar, honestly. Oh god. What the fuck? That was not ideal, I guess. Okay, now we gotta wait for the orbits to realign. Super cool. There's dress as well. Never visiting dress. Eventually we will, but, you know, not today. Yep, signal's gone at this point. Signal also cannot reach way out here. And so we're just bouncing around Duna. Kerbin's catching up, though. We're now at exact opposite sides of the star. Ow. Okay. Just waiting for it. Do. I just poked myself. Ow. Okay, Kerbin is coming back. Look at that probe all the way out there. Oh, we got a connection. It's very bad. It's coming in though. 2%, 3, 4. It's going up faster. That's 30% connection. 50% connection. We get to 80, we're going in. Okay, we're not going to get any better than that, I think. Okay, time to do the science stuff. Rod Magnetus experiment. Transmit that juicy science. Experiment done. Okay, now the mystery goo. Honestly, the mystery goo can like hold out because it's not that important. It's as if we're in a vacuum. Oh my god. Managing the temperature space to be as quite impossible as there's no matter around to be either hot or cold except the spacecraft and the thermometer itself. This is probably going to give the R&D guys something to think about for a while. Yep. Again. Same fucking thing. Congratulations. Okay, now we're going to extend both of these. Oh shit. Okay, okay. Let's let's break this down. We have landing gear, but we have we have landing gear, we have atmosphere rated equipment, and we have landing thrusters and landing legs, landing gear. We have a bit of fuel too. And now we have a good connection to Kerbin. And Duna isn't that far away, so we can burn to Duna. Duna's gravity is weak, meaning we can land. Maybe. But we have no heat shield anymore. So if we do land, we can deploy our parachutes if we slow down enough. And even after that, it might not be enough because we'll need to get onto the surface. Like, this decoupler can support, it can withstand a lot of heat. Nowhere near as much as a heat shield. However, Duna's atmosphere is really thin, so we might have a chance. So we're going to do that. I'm not even going to bother saving. Actually, I am. Oh, shit. Not going to save. Okay, save game. Duner 1 landing start. Okay, we're gonna point this probe at Duna for lore purposes. And we're gonna decouple. And now we're going to do we not have electricity? We don't have a reaction wheel. Okay, so we need to turn with burning fuel. Okay. That's another issue. That's another issue that we have. It's still fine. It's still fine. We just need to completely redesign our probe, but we're not launching all that again because that was a lot. We just have to wait for the craft to get all the way around the nav ball to where it's pointing roughly retrograde again. Okay. We're deorbiting anyway. Hold on. I'll be right back. I gotta help my mom taking groceries. Really, really fast. I'm babysitting. I'll be right back.